position for you on SSC-14.
This is Mission Control Houston in the Space Station Flight Control Room. The Robotic Systems Officer reports that the Canadarm2 is now being maneuvered by Karen Nyberg and Greg Shamatov, moving in for a grapple of the Japanese logistics module. This view now from the end effector camera on the Canadarm2. Once the grapple and the rigidization is completed, Shamatov and Aki Hoshide will be working the procedures to send the commanding to drive open the bolts that have held the Japanese logistics module in place to the Zenith common berthing mechanism on the Harmony connecting node since March. And the Robotic Systems Officer reports a good grapple of the Japanese logistics module.
Hey, nice work, Karen and Aki. It was beautiful.
Hey, nice work.
We're making sure we're ready. We're not quite ready for step 3 yet, waiting on our evaluation of the number in P8. I'll call you here in a second.
The number in P8.
Okay, copy. Thank you.
We're about 17 minutes away from entering an orbital sunrise. In the meantime, a good view of the Canadarm2 with a firm grasp on the Japanese logistics module that is just about unbolted now from the Harmony connecting node.
Houston Station on spacecraft 2 for CDM. We're going to proceed with 1.9 deploying capture latches.
Aki, we concur.
All the bolts have now been released. Capture latches about to be commanded open.
Discovery on Canadarm 2 for EVA.
Karen Nyberg and Greg Shamatov now have taken the brakes off of Canadarm2, the Canadian-built 58-foot-long space station robotic arm about to begin to back away, and with it, the Japanese logistics module. Although barely perceptible, you can see motion as the Japanese logistics module now is being unberthed from the common berthing mechanism on top of the Harmony module. The robotic arm being operated by Karen Nyberg and Greg Shamatov, everything going very smoothly. Once the logistics module is clear, Nyberg and Shamatov will maneuver the arm in a lateral direction about 30 feet to rebirth it and bolt it into place on top of the Japanese Kibo module.
You can see in this view the station shuttle arm where it's berthed on one end to the mobile transporter on the station's truss, and with the other end moving the logistics module about 30 feet from where it was on top of the Harmony node to its permanent home on the Kibo Laboratory. Logistics module's inching closer to its permanent home on the Kibo Laboratory. Logistics module's about 14 feet wide, like the laboratory and many of the other modules on the station are, but it is also about 14 feet long compared to the laboratory's 37 feet. The logistics module will serve as a storage area for the experiments that will be done in the Kibo Laboratory. Teams on the ground are reporting that the alignment is good and everything looks ready. This is a view from the centerline camera looking out the window on the Kibo Laboratory hatch where the logistics module will be installed.
PM operator, the maneuver to RTL is complete. You have a go for first stage capture.
Copy that. Good job.
Logistics module is now in place and ready to begin the actual capture between the two berthing mechanisms on both the modules. Aki Hoshide and Greg Shamatov are going to be working through that procedure to actually connect the two modules together now that they're both in place. They'll be using the common berthing mechanisms that Mike Fossum and Ron Guerin prepared during yesterday's spacewalk to do that. Now that mission specialist Karen Nyberg and flight engineer Greg Shamatov have got the logistics module into place and all the ready to latch indicators are showing that the module is ready, Shamatov and mission specialist Aki Hoshide, who you just heard talking with Station Capcom Chris Cassidy, are getting ready to begin the actual connection of the logistics module. Aki Hoshide and Greg Shamatov have now completed connecting those 16 bolts at 3:04 p.m. Central Time.
And SSRMS operator, go for SSRMS brakes on.
That's complete.
Station Houston for CB8.
And Houston Station on Station 2.
Aki, we read our minds here.
Chris, I think...
No, you go. No, I'll go.
Stepping on each other, but we're reading each other.
All right. Hey, I think we're thinking the same thing. Great work today by you and Greg and Taz and Greg and Taz. And we'll pick up in step 4 and complete the procedures. So with that, I think you guys are done with CBM stuff. Nice work.
Okay, copy that. Thanks a lot for all of you on the ground helping us out.
The Japanese logistics module, which you can see in this screen, is now connected to the Kibo Laboratory. Now the the station robotic arm that carried it to the Kibo Laboratory from its temporary home on the Harmony module can release it. It'll be a little while yet before the astronauts can go into the logistics module, though. There will be some leak checks to perform from the ground, as well as some vestibule outfitting, similar to what the astronauts did a couple days ago when the Kibo Laboratory was installed on the Harmony node. As you can see, the space inside the Kibo Laboratory is filling up quickly. Yesterday, 7 of the 8 racks that launched inside the logistics module were moved from the logistics module and into the laboratory where they'll be staying permanently. The 8th was moved the day before. And since Kibo was launched with 4 racks, that gives